What was the... Oh, interesting. It put me live, but it didn't this time ask me to set a title. Never mind. Here we are. The plan, I should say, welcome, happy Friday. Yeah, the plan is to continue looking at Gutenberg versions. So I have a website that's it's a basic WordPress install with all the out-the-box stuff, and it's WordPress. I get the versions confused in my head. It's WordPress 5.4, which contains Gutenberg 7.5, as we found in the last stream, I believe, and we're going to upgrade it using the Gutenberg plugin to Gutenberg 7.6. We're going to see what the tavern and the changelog in GitHub have to say is new, and then we're going to have a play and see what is actually new. So I have an item with, and I'm connected. So I've uploaded my site now so that it's not dependent on my, what do you call it, the local web server on my Mac, which is a bit old and slow. And when I'm streaming was really slow in previous streams. So I've uploaded, or I've created an online test site for doing this with, and I'm connected to that server. We're going to use the WordPress command line to install plugin Gutenberg, and that'll be, hang on a minute. So we can pass -- help into WP-CLI, and that will tell me to plugin install. That will tell me how I can specify a version. Using -- version equals version. So I'm assuming this is called Gutenberg, and we want version 7.6. Need to be in public HTML. Interesting. Can't find the requested plugins version 7.6. You'd think I could install a plugin by now. Can't find 7.6 in the WordPress.org repository. Plugins Gutenberg. Let's have a look. So the latest is 8.4.0. Maybe we need to do 7.6.0. Yes. Woohoo! We have Gutenberg plugin. Let's plugin activate. That always makes me think of Crystal Maze? Activate! Oh no, Robot Wars. Robot Wars. What am I typing? Don't go off that thinking about other things. Great, so we now should have a website with Gutenberg installed. So this is a Gutenberg plugin that lets us do all sorts of cool stuff. Let's just check we're on the right version. 7.6. There's an update to 7.6.1. I'll take that, but I don't want to go any higher than 7.6.1 because it's the features of 7.6 that I want to play with. And so that's done. So we should now be able to go to post, add new, and get cracking. So let's see what's new. Let's start with the Gutenberg changelogs. Now GitHub has updated their UI, so fumbling around there. 2,327 releases. Oh, it looks like they update individual components and publish them as releases. because these aren't just releases of Gutenberg, that's releases of all the different component parts of Gutenberg. Okay, let's what? I've been here before. Right, so there's 7.6, so I can just go to /tag/7.6, and here's the changelog for 7.6. So this adds a rotating list of tips to the inserter help panel, improves findability for social video embeds. I'm not too interested by that. This sounds like that'd be interesting to look at that. This APIs I'm not that interested in. New blocks, post featured image, comments, count block. That's interesting that these are comments related. We'll see what they do. And new features to the post excerpt block. Ooh, cool. Allow changing site title block heading level. Or site title block. I wonder if this is to do with the site editing stuff they're doing. Render the post comments form properly. Add new features to the post date block. Add multiple template loading. No idea what that is. Show error when resolve block. I'm not interested in showing errors. Okay, so I don't think much has updated in 7.6 in a big way. I'm curious about these new blocks. All right, let's see what Justin Tadlock on the WP Tavern has to say. He does a great summary report of Gutenberg plugin updates. Most of the work went toward upcoming full site editing feature. Interesting. 7.5, yeah, we know about 7.5. 7.6 does not include as many feature additions as earlier releases, yet we can tell that from the changelog. Aside from experimental work on full site editing, it primarily includes bug fixes. Yeah, okay. Right, so rotating tips in block inserter. I'm guessing that's this little like tip thing down here. So let's explore 7.6. Oh, interesting. So, when I was doing this with 7.5, I was struggling because I didn't have a plus button to add a block straight out of the gate. I had to like create a block in order to get the add block button. So that looks like that's been fixed maybe. So let's click that. Oh, I thought this was, where's the little previews of blocks? Oh, they only appear when you use the add block here up in the header. View post. Oh, that's the improvements to full site editing. Can't remember what they called it. The button that takes you back into WordPress from the editor. That's interesting. So this thing is updating. Change blocks type by pressing the block icon on the toolbar. So we get different in. Oh, it kind of appears with one and then gives you another. Ah, that's annoying. Indent a list by pressing space at the beginning of a line. Okay, that's cool. I suppose they're good tips, but they're tips about things that you don't want to do when you're inserting a block. I've been distracted here from inserting a block, I think, because I came to here to insert a block, not to get a tip. But that's cool. That's helping people learn how to use Gutenberg, so that's a good thing. So that's cool. Improve findability for social video embeds. We'll leave that for now. New blocks, post featured image. I'm going to go to the tavern and see what the tavern says. In the past, the block inserter had a single tip at the bottom right that read blah, blah, blah. It was a useful tip, but easy to ignore because it never changed. So we've now got a rotating list of tips. We've seen that. That's cool. There are open tickets to add contextual tips based on block search queries and block specific tips. That sounds more useful because this isn't about what I'm doing. So that sounds like that's going to be improved in future versions. It may be possible for plugin authors to extend it in the future. That's a very good idea. Full steam ahead with full site editing. Okay, so they've added 4 new dynamic placeholder blocks. That must be what these things are. So they are related to full site editing feature, not to post editing. So that makes sense. So we can build a template that includes, so we can like build a template for a post, and that template can include a featured image, comments count, comments form, post tags. presumably there's some existing blocks like post content in this screen grab, post title, post date, post content. Interesting. So this brings the total to around 12 blocks for full site editing, which is still a few dozen short of where the platform will need to be. I wonder if we could play with that. I'm not about to play with block-based theme experiments. I think that's another live stream to do that. Users can now set the heading level of the site title. Okay, that makes sense. So let's try. I've not done the full site editing thing. I think that's a Gutenberg experiment. Let's save this. Go back to my post. No, let's go to Gutenberg. Oh, interesting. I was expecting that to keep my menu on the left, and it's created me a sample post with a load of out-of-the-box content. That's not what I wanted. I'm kind of annoyed. I don't want to view posts. This is what happens if I go out of full screen mode. I don't like going into full screen mode, but I do kind of want this to, you can collapse this, can't you? That's where I think, that's how I think Gutenberg should launch, not with full screen mode with some arrow that takes you back to somewhere you don't want to go. I want to go somewhere else, or I want to create another new post. I don't want to go back to the post list, I don't think, after making a post. Oh well. So I've got to use these sub-menus then. Widgets, we'll try that some other time. Site editor. Do I want to leave? Yeah, I'll leave that. I don't want that out of the box post content. Interesting. So here we are. We're on the front page template. I've only got a front page template and I can create new ones. This is the block navigator. What am I seeing here? Oh, okay, so this is my columns. This is my image. These are columns. And then I've got two group blocks down here. Post title, post content, footer. Okay, so post title. Don't know why I've got that on the home page. I kind of want some latest posts, not post title. Okay, is this enabled? So if I update design now, what do I want to save? The front page template. So if I visit the front page, do I now see this new layout that I've created? Ooh. Yeah, so I've got the abstract picture. I've got, oh gosh, that is huge. Right. Well, it's not a great template, excuse me. It's not a great template, but it is a template. And presumably I can, so can I, what block is this? Is this just text? This block navigator, right, so I got column, so I got columns at the top. 3 columns at the top, but only 2 of them are showing. Is that 3 columns? Or is that just an icon representing the columns block? That must just, I find that quite confusing. I thought I had 3 columns, but I've only actually got 2. Okay. And the first one has a site title and the second one has a navigation block, which has sub-items in it. Right, so this is a site title block. If I edit this, is that just editing the text or is that updating the option? I guess we'll find out. And I don't want a massive post title here. Let's remove that. So I'm actually editing the layout of my homepage right now. I've got full width. Maybe I don't want full width, but let's do it anyway. And I want, so I can use things like recent, latest posts. Oh, look, I added some posts to this site for fun with clickbaity titles, like you do when you're generating sample posts. What can I change? I can make that left, center, right. I can have a grid view. Oh, that's quite nice. And I can show post content, post meta, post date specifically, featured image. I don't have featured images, so I'm not going to do that. So I played with latest post block in the last stream. It's kind of familiar with this. What does turning that on do? Oh, there isn't any content in any of these posts. I only set titles. Right, so if I update that design now, oh, what's this? Is this saying it wants to save the option because I changed the option? So the UI for this still looks a bit early days and clunky, but presumably it will improve. Right, so did that save? So if I refresh this now, what do I do? Oh yes, so this is now my really new blog. Whoa. So does that mean if I go to settings general, oh, it zoomed in a bit there. I had my browser zoom on for some reason. Oh, look, it updated the option. Do I like that? I feel like, I guess when full site editing is in full flow, that's what you expect to happen. Ooh. And yeah, so that option updated. Why can't I, there we go. Template part not found. That's probably a bug. Interesting. And here's my little block-based recent posts. That's kind of nice, and it's somehow the theme has styled that for me. So that's worked out pretty well. And I can do this for other bits of my user interface. Can I? Can I create a new, what's this? Is this like the template hierarchy slug? So if I do single, that'll do single posts. Did it say, let's where we need placeholders, proper labels rather than placeholders. So I don't need to put anything other than just single. So now I'm editing single, and I'm going to go, let's just add a paragraph and go, oops, this is a post template. And then there's a site title, which I remember it said we could now change the heading level of. So let's make that H1. That's fine. And then can we put, there was a post content. So let's have that, which just prints post content placeholder. And site title, post title. But did I put site title in instead of post title? Post excerpt, post featured image, post tags. No, interesting. Post date. So you can't really arrange metadata very easily. That's the post date. Let me just check what I did here. I'd love this to tell me what sort of block it is. It kind of does a little bit. It tells me what I could transform to. It doesn't tell me what I'm transforming from. This over here, this is where it tells me which block I've got. You can tell. So I mostly use Gutenberg for just like tapping out posts, bash, bash, bash on a keyboard. And I rarely look at any of the options or anything. So this is where it tells me what sort of block I'm in, right? Post date placeholder. So that's the post date block. That's the post content block. Okay, right. So I've got site title, which I don't want. I want, won't transform it. Let's remove it. And I want a post title, post title placeholder. So this should give me, it should say for every post, it should now say this is a post template, give me the title, date, and then the contents. Let's update the design, save the single template, and then presumably if I click one of these posts, this is a post template. Look at that. This is all full width, so it looks like I need to do something to make this not full width. Is that the theme's responsibility or mine? I'm not entirely sure at this point, but that works. So that's where WordPress is headed. I can see why people are talking about the death of theme, because I can build my own theme in Gutenberg. I would probably get really frustrated doing that because I wouldn't have the level of control that I wanted. But this is something that people could do by themselves, build their own site. This interface here for naming the templates needs to be substantially improved, but maybe we'll see that coming. So is that all that was in 7.6? So we had these new set heading level of site title block, blah, blah, blah. New blocks, post excerpt block. I'll just assume that all works. Site title block, heading level, that's fine. Render post comments form, I'll take their word for that. Add new features to the post date block. Ooh, post date. What features would you, I suppose you could add like formatting. No. I'm not seeing much in terms of post date block options. I wonder why that is. Add multiple template loading. No idea what that is. Show error when resolve block template is empty. Is that what I got on the home page? Surely not. Template part not found. Says some part. I don't know what that is. Anyway, that looks like everything for 7.6. Let's have a quick look forward at 7.7. I won't explore it now, but let's see what's going to happen next time, potentially. That's pretty, oh yeah, that full site editing is like, that's a big change in how WordPress works. That's pretty huge. So next time we're going to look at a refreshed UI, block patterns, which I think are like preset collections of blocks. Patterns UI as a sidebar plugin and an initial set of patterns. Gonna update the block and editor UI with new icons, blah 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 stuff, tweaks and things. Improve the back to WP admin button in full screen mode. Oh, please do. Make the editor full screen by default. Please don't. Remove well, maybe this in conjunction with this is okay. Remove template locking from the columns block. No idea what that is. Make the inserter full height. Loads of bug fixes, new APIs and some experiments. But mostly next time we'll be looking at patterns and new UI stuff. So I guess that'll be next time. Let's end this soon. Have a great weekend. The pubs are opening here in the UK. I don't know if this is a good thing or not. I personally will not be going. I'm sure lots of people will. Stay safe. Keep yourself safe and keep others safe. And have a great weekend, whatever you're doing, whether you're in or out, locked down, isolating, whatever those things are. Stay safe. Have fun. And I guess I probably won't, in my chaotic home life, be doing this over the weekend because kids will be around all the time, literally all the time, every moment that I'm awake almost. And I guess we'll do some more next week. Hope these are useful for someone. They're kind of useful for me, which is why I'm doing them. And having streams is an excuse to kind of be accountable and do them. Apologies that these aren't at regular times, really. Maybe one day that will happen, or maybe I'll get bored and stop. We'll see. If no one is watching this live, if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching, and we'll do it again soon.